Hey guys, Prestone Mage here recording an Iconic Masters draft. Um, Thanks to all the viewers for the previous videos, and if you want to continue to be updated on these videos or any future content, go ahead and subscribe. Alright, so let's wait for our last person in the pod to get here, and then we'll be at it. So don't be afraid to let me know in the comments or anything what you think about these videos or all that stuff, or if you have any other types of like requests, I could consider. Alright guys, let's get going. Alright, so Magus of the Moon is our rare. Monastery Swiftspear is a good creature. This is a pretty good creature. It cantrips. So it can go good in like a green-blue type of deck, or maybe any type of just defensive green deck. Claustrophobia is like a removal spell. If we take this, we can probably wheel a Doorkeeper and kind of be on this like defender deck, which might be kind of cool. Also, Fogbank's pretty good. I think I want to take this one. Kind of puts us into long games. I mean, this is pretty cool too. It's a 2-drop. They're pretty good. Someone's probably going to take this. But I don't know. This doesn't lock us into the defender deck, but it gives us a, I don't know, kind of a good start. It is double green though, so let's take that for now. River of Tears, Tavern Swindler, Topan Freeblade, which is insane. Wall of Roots just goes well with our first pick. This is a good card. This is a good card. I don't know what I'm trying to do though. If I just pick up defenders, I guess I need like overgrown battlements and stuff. This is a good card, and what it's trying to do, that's fixing, that's like a ramp spell. Maybe I just take the Freeblade and cut green. I think I'm just going to take the Freeblade here. I think it's usually when cards are close, players a lot of times maybe it might just stay on color, but this might be a lot better than this. So maybe we'll pick up this card for now. They don't really go together, but we'll just see kind of what we get. Okay, Jotty Offshoot, if we want to have like that defender deck we were talking about. Here's a mill card. Kind of good for like aggressive deck, I guess, if we're gonna be in like white. So those are pretty good. Gutter Snipe, and kind of like a spell-oriented deck, either like a blue, red, or something like that. This is pretty good. I think it's between these two. There is also like a black-white kind of like life gain thing, but I don't know if I'd want to take something like that yet. There's also a 2-drop, but it's in another color. Maybe we just take this white card for now. I think it's probably a lot better than something like this for now. Again, there's like a white, black, like life totals matter according to LSV and Marshall Sutcliffe. So we have a bounce land, a knight, +1/+1 for each land at our yard. There aren't counters, but it also fixes our mana. I mean, we do have a green card and a white card. This card we could probably wheel, right? Maybe we just take the gold card. I mean, it kind of fixes our mana, so I think we'd take that. We can put like a base like green white deck. And sorry, I didn't really assess the rest of that pack. Maybe I should have. Guard duty, kind of like a removal spell, or it makes just a creature able to block. So I guess it neutralizes like a pretty big attacker. There's Mannequin. It's a 2-drop and ramps us into bigger things. This card gives a creature pro something, it replaces itself. Pro a certain color. I don't know if I want to take that highly. 4-drop, 2/4. Cast a non-creature spell, we gain 2 life. That's pretty good. I don't know if I want to branch out into red just yet. Maybe we'll just take the Mannequin. I think we'll just play it regardless. And it's just something that we can do early in the game. Okay, so Wing Shard is pretty good. Also, Blinding Mage is really good. Doomed Traveler, a removal spell. So I think we might clearly be into white. Question is, what do we take? Do we take something like this? Or like that? That's pretty good. I think we might. Let me see. We don't know if we're on green. If we're in white, we have 2 2-drops. We have 2 2-drops. So maybe we take something like that. It's kind of like both a removal spell and an attacker, so it goes good with this card. Okay, Doom Traveler is pretty good. So is this. It's a 2-drop. Makes our guys have first strike, so this would have like vigilance and first strike, but so is Evolving Wilds, and it gets a little bit better here. We kind of have like a good go wide card. So it's close. We've got like 3 really good cards here. I think we'll probably just go with the 2-drop for now. There's not too much of a difference in the power level between the Doom Traveler and that. So, okay, so we have a couple cards. I think we did a good job at kind of identifying white as an open color. This card, we can add, it kind of like, if we have an island, we can add a white. If we have a plains, we can add a blue. So this gives us blue fixing. We also have Evolving Wilds, which is good with this. So I think we'll probably just take the Evolving Wilds. We saw the Overgrown Battlement too, but I don't think we're on that one. There's this card. I don't know how good it is. It does neutralize an attacker. There's Fog Bank as well, which is just a pretty powerful card. Blue looks pretty open too, like at Claustrophobia late. Maybe we just take that. And we'll see what happens. I think it's a lot better than some of the other stuff. So like blue-white seems like really open. I think this is probably a really good card. Right? It's also a 2-drop. I think we're gonna take this card, right? So we have like kind of like 3 non-creature spells right now. We'll take this one. It's probably, oh, I don't know why that's in the sideboard. Definitely want that. Okay, cool. So we're getting there on this like white aggressive thing. I guess I'll take this card. I don't know how good it'll be. Okay, nice. So white's like really open. Cool. So we're lucky there. We just don't know if we're gonna be like white green or white blue. Probably, I don't know, we'll see. White, black, possibly. Okay, so the next pack. We have a green, red dual land. Okay. A blue, red, or I'm sorry, a red, white kind of dual land. Disenchant another evolving wall. It's a Seeker of the Way. I mean, white seems pretty, like, it seems, let me see, so we have 4. It seems like it's the most open, but I'm trying to think what I should take now. Either like an Evolving Wilds or like this, or one of these dual lands. This is a really good card, and it like lets us kind of establish kind of a game plan early and just attack. So I think I'm just gonna take this just to slow in just an intense kind of like aggressive white deck. So we already have one of these. This guy is pretty good if we want to go into green, right? Attackers get +1/+1. So I guess like turn 1 this, into turn 2 some other stuff's okay. Pro black and red. That one's okay. The pro is pretty cool. Kind of like doesn't die to stuff. Blinding Mage is also pretty good too. I think we just take our second Blinding Mage over this card. It kind of allows us just to play like more aggressively. Okay, cool. So there's potentially another color, right? It's a 6 mana flying first strike. Beginning your upkeep. It's in your graveyard. Or on the battlefield to gain a life. So I don't think we have any like a Johnny's guys that make that big. There's another Doomed Traveler. So we might just want to take that. It is a 6-drop. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't think that last ability is relevant to us. Is there anything else we want to take? Maybe this? 2 +1/+1 counters on it. I think we just take the Tiger actually, because then we can play like our Knight probably. And then we've got like something to make it like have first strike, I guess. So if we're on this kind of like draw thing, this is kind of cool. Or our +1/+1 counter things. Like Topan Free Blade's a counter thing. This guy's a counter. This guy's a counter. That guy's not. This allows us to draw cards / make them indestructible. It kind of helps us attack over a Doomed Traveler or an Iona's Judgment. That is kind of clunky, so maybe we just want like a cheap trick. We already have one. So double Knight, okay. So we can splash like big stuff now, right? And now Evolving Wilds get a lot better. There's also splashing for this though. If one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on something, we get twice that many. So we have only 1, 2, 3 cards. So it's a close one. We might even get the white one, the Knight, back. Just because I think we got the first one pretty late. It's a pretty close call. This one's cheaper, and they just get pretty big, right? Maybe we'll just take the Knight and then hope this wheels, because we're for sure in green. White, I think now. And then we'll just go from there. So yeah, this is cool, but we already have one, and then this is just an insane like turn 1 play, right? And it gives us some like late game finishing stuff if we don't really get there. So I think we're off of blue now. Suspend 4, I think this is probably way better of a suspend card. What else? Okay, green's pretty open. We're not really on like the life gain thing. I think we'll just take that. Wild Size is good. It's like another kind of way for us to like attack. Like we have a couple ways to like attack without really having to worry too much about kind of like what the opponent does. And it cantrips. It's that against like search for splash options or like Darksteel Axe. Kind of like just having like well, it's not really a cheap trick, but it is a trick since this is such a combat oriented deck. Again, well, that's a cheap trick right there. This guy is pretty defensive. This gives something protection. So it's between these two cards. They're both pretty good for this deck. We have a pump spell, draw cards, pump spell. So maybe we just draw like this pump spell. Just have the pump spell. It might be a little bit better. We're pretty aggressive and it can help us finish the game. We could disenchant for the sideboard, a hunting pack, 7 mana though. Disenchant could be pretty good. Sideboard card. We'll just do that. Champion came back. I think we just take that. It could be really good in some matchups, right? Just a pro. And then in any like racing situation, we're pretty good. And just the fact that it's a 2-drop. So do we want something bigger? Gives our guys trample. Or do we want like a Doom Traveler? I don't know. Maybe we'll just go with like the cheap one. Okay, well, now I kind of wish we would have taken another one. The Crown Ceratops. Okay, we already kind of have something like that. I think maybe if we're just going to go on the Doom Traveler thing, we'll just have a bunch of them. Pro something. I don't think we'll play that card. Okay, so we kind of got there on that, I guess. I don't know. So let's add this to our sideboard. Inspiring Calls. Okay. Wow. So prime time. Probably pretty good, right? I mean, it's just a 6/6 trampler for 6. Get some lands out. Possibly Evolving Wilds. I don't know how great we are. What is this one? So they have pump, pump, pump removal. I think we just take the Titan for sure. We're not that big on like, you know, making our guy. Let's reserve this. I don't think we're that big on like just making huge guys with counters. And this is kind of like a good like card to help us like splash. We have that and that, or that and Evolving Wilds plus 2 Knights. So we're not completely like pigeonholed into something. Like we can take like a card that is, oh, that's pretty good too. A card that let me see, that we may want to splash. So this could be a good mana sink. And it's just, you know, fine, a 2/3 for 3, and it just gets bigger and has flying. Or Iona's Judgment. So we don't have too many like just removal spells, right? We're just attacking and stuff, so I kind of want, but we have tricks, right? Like make our guys big. So it kind of helps push through that. So I think we actually take this because we have double Blinding Mage too. And then we can take something like this probably. Again, we can splash for something, but there's nothing really too insane worth splashing for. We could even maybe cut a Doom Traveler. so they're somewhat low impact. This cantrips, so does that. That's a 1/3 that can turn into a 2/4. So kind of like our curve. We have a lot of stuff to do on turn 1. I'm gonna cut one of those. 4 drop, 3 drop, 2 drop trick. Oh, there's a troll here. Let's take the troll. Didn't really see that. That's why it's good to kind of look at the pack for a while, just to kind of see stuff you missed. It's pretty good. Another 2 drop, something that have a counter, or a battle priest and whatever. So this is something that we can have as like a splash, right? So we only need like a single island, and that's a lot. I mean, we're not really actually giving up much to take that. A sideboarded disenchant. So we may actually even want that. Our deck kind of does the exact opposite of this card, but sometimes it's good to just have access to like sideboard cards like this. So I'm going to take this for the sideboard. Again, we're not really giving much, and our deck's like giving up much, and our deck I think is like already built. So we'll take that for the sideboard. For sure. Mindstone could be something. Search. Oh, another Baloth. So we could totally just get in there, right? Doom might not be the best for our deck. I don't know if we care about it. Like we can just play this, right? And just have like a lot of stuff to do on turn 1. Another Wing Shards, a Phantom Tiger. So it can have First Strike, right? Or Lifelink, First Strike, since it has counters. What other counter synergy do we have? This one, draw a card, right? I think we take the Tiger. There's a Wing Shards, but we already have one. That's good for our a defender deck. Or Mind Stone. We would just take this 3 drop. Alright, so that's a good sideboard card. That's kind of like a cheap trick, but we're kind of already there on like the trick stuff / pump. We already have Wild Size. This to pump our, like, overrun our guys almost. Removal. We could use maybe like one more Iona's Judgment. So we have like 3 pump spells, 2 of which are instant speed. So yeah, I think we just take this card for the sideboard. And a Ceratok. Pretty good, I guess. We can give our guys trample, or we can take a 3 drop that turns into a 2/4. Creatures with +1 have trample. So like that would have trample. We have these for removal. This would have trample. Maybe we just take the cheaper card. We side that out. And it's evasive. Alright, cool. So we got our last kind of Iona's Judgment that we wanted. We wanted like kind of like one more. Alright, so that's kind of not something that we want. I guess if we're playing against a lot of flyers, maybe that's a sideboard option. And same thing with this. And another sideboard card. And I don't know that. So I think we did a good job at identifying white as an open color and then kind of like green. So overall, guys, I think this was a really, really good draft for us. This might just be an extreme, like the most powerful draft deck that we're able to draft within these videos. It's got a lot of stuff that it can do, like turn 1. It can play, let's separate creature spells. Alright, for 1 it's got 18 creatures, which is huge. It's got 6 6-drops, so it gets started kind of early. It's got double Binding Mage. Of those 6 drops, double Binding Mage kind of helps us continue to attack. But yeah, before we even get to the 2 drops, we have 4 turn 1 plays, right? You can suspend one of these guys. You can play an infantry veteran that either helps us punch in for 1 or makes like one of our smaller guys be able to punch in. So yeah, and then you got some like late game stuff, or make your creatures with counters like a little bit more important, right? This Battle Priest gives them lifelink. So these would have like, let's say, lifelink, or with the Falconer, flying. So that's another creature with a counter possibly. These Knights, +1/+1 for each land card in our yard. So I mean, we don't have too many Evolving Wilds, but we have this one, and they just make themselves bigger, right? Could block and you tap and sack a plains or forest and put a land card on the battlefield, and it can be untapped, right? Search your library for a land card, put it on the battlefield, and shuffle. We don't have any like bounce lands or anything, or fixing, but that's fine. And then we could just end the game with like, you know, a prime time if we get a little flooded. We have this 4-drop too. So we're pretty good. We have like ways to gain life here, and this guy. Oh yeah, don't forget our guys can get first strike too. Kind of ways of like pushing through damage, right? With our pump spells, card draw, removal, pump spell. So here's the thing. We're at 25 cards and we need to cut like 2. I don't want to cut this card. I don't want to cut this card. Wing Shards may be kind of bad in our deck because we're going to be the ones attacking a lot. We're going to tap out a lot in the early kind of turns to cast stuff. So maybe we want to cut that. We have ways of like kind of cleaning up the board with, again, ways of tapping our opponent's creatures and then also just exiling stuff, right? Creature or enchantment. And then we have just ways of pushing through our damage. Pump, 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 and then this is like a draw card / a way to like kind of attack without our creatures dying. So it's a good trick, and we have a lot of creatures. So draw a card for each creature you control with the +1/+1 counter on it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 creatures. So that could be a powerful card. If it was just a draw card for each one, I don't know, we might want to cut it. But the fact that it gives our guys indestructible is like a pretty big game. We do it now that it has a low curve. So, I mean, you could consider playing 16 lands, but this deck's already doing a lot of really powerful stuff. Starting on turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, and so on. It's a really streamlined deck. So, and we're at 24 cards. So we may actually want to cut our prime time. We're not fixing for anything, and this doesn't like bump like these at all. So it's not like you played on turn 6 and all of a sudden you have like, you know, your existing board or your creatures on the board are now pumped, but I mean, it's still just really good, so you just want to play it. Unfortunately, we're just kind of low. We could just cut like a veteran and play this instead. That's an option. I don't want to cut these Balos because they're just kind of like played on turn 1 and then like kind of establish our 2 drops, 3 drops, whatever, and then like this kind of snake comes in and just, you know, takes over the game. So let's see. Are we missing anything? Got a lot of white cards. That's a good sideboard option with the disenchants. Doom Traveler is just okay. This card, I mean, is it better? Which one's better? 2 +1/+1 counters on it, so it's a 2/3. So kind of in a weird spot where maybe I'll put another Aven in, actually, as a 2/4 instead of this, because it's a 2/3. But if damage would be dealt to it, I don't know. Maybe we do that. Maybe we cut this and add like our other Aven. This is good and it does what we want it to do. I guess it has flying. Then again, how good are these? Do we want just like a tiger in instead of this? No, right? I mean, these take a little bit to get going, but it also thins your deck of lands. So like you don't have to like, you know, draw like more of them. You can draw more gas. So I think actually we cut this prime time. I don't think we need to be there on a 6-drop. It's kind of weird, but we have like kind of a lot of late game between like these, and we can get pumped with these, and you know, we can cast something like that to kind of just push through a lot of damage. That to draw cards, and we have a couple pump spells. This gives something protection from a color, and it draws a card, right? So again, a sideboard option could be like this. Could even be a main deck consideration. But I don't know if we need to be there just yet. Maybe, to be honest. Maybe it's like better than like one of these Iona's Judgments. But then I have to give up my board presence, really. When I could just like take out maybe like a key attacker or blocker or something like this. We'll keep the option available to us, maybe. I like the high density of creatures in this deck. It just does, it just establishes them early in the game and all that stuff. So maybe we'll just kind of board into something like that. Disenchant as well. Inspiring Call, or no, I'm sorry, Aerial Predation against flyers. Maybe it's a cheaper way to get rid of something. So yeah, we'll put in our Evolving Wilds and that. And again, we're not splashing this just because it goes against like our deck, pretty much. So as far as basics, MTGO recommends 9 plains to 7 forests. Let me see what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 exclusively white cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 exclusively green cards. The only thing here though, we don't have any double white. So this could even be like a 16 land deck, like play like another tiger, right? I don't know though. I don't want to like lose to Mana Screw because it's such a solid deck that that's one of the things we could do. So I think we're just gonna play 17. We have stuff to do with our mana, right? This and outlasting and whatever. So I think we're just gonna run it back. We're gonna add. I think we might want to instead of 9, 7, 8, 8, so we can maybe get the Baloths going. Or maybe just take out our Evolving Wilds. I know it sounds kind of crazy. It's got a lot of synergy, but like if I drew like 2 plains and like an Evolving Wilds, and I had like one of our 2 Baloths in hand, then like I won't be able to suspend it on turn 1, and that could be kind of the difference of winning or losing a game. Alright guys, I think I'm gonna run it like this. If I want to board into something like this, or like if we're against like a really aggressive like blue-red deck or something, then I'll probably board in this one island and take out, you know, maybe something like this, an infantry veteran, and board into it. But let's just run it like this.